Hello everybody and welcome to TradeStation's Market Review. My name's Simon Clarke from Trade with Precision and I'll be discussing some of the key markets of interest right now. Now if we take a look at the markets that we looked at last week, analyse what we thought was going to happen and in actual fact where those markets are now, we can also then assess what those charts are telling us for current price action and future price action. So taking a look at the mini Dow future last week the market was at 17,200. We already had our level marked in here at 17,400, and what we were looking for was a potential breakout above this level on the intraday time frames. Now we can see that's actually happened and the market's now sitting right here up at 17,500. So if we just come down to the intraday time frames and start to look at what we was looking at, I mean here we're looking at the trend structure. We had a lovely trend here on the intraday time frames. This is the 4 hour, and we were looking at this sort of breakout here above 17,200. We had that lovely multiple tests here of 17.2. We also had convergence here on our indicators, and we can see what's happened. The market's broken out, it's even surpassed 17,400, and now it's sort of sitting here right at 17,500. Now the market condition where it is now is, to me, I'm a little bit more cautious of it than where it was back here. Back here last week we had a very decisive level that would demonstrate strength if the market broke through that level. But now, where the market's now sort of flattened out up here at 17,500, we've also got divergence that's come into the market as well. So seeing that sort of weakness there in the indicators, and if I sort of zoom into the market, we can see, or into the price action I should say, if we analyze those candles that the market's performing recently, there's a lot of very indecision candles there, whereas back here a week ago we had some very decisive moves. So for this reason I think sort of 17,400, this sort of area, in fact we could sort of bracket this sort of consolidation on intraday time frames. I think, you know, if we get a breakout above the sort of current area up here, which is around sort of 17,550, that's going to be sort of fairly bullish for the market, and we could be looking for more longs. Certainly at the moment I'm expecting a little bit more weakness coming in here, and before that uptrend continues. So for me on the mini Dow, what I'm more looking at is intraday trading opportunities rather than any new swing positions. If we come and take a look at the metals now, again last week the pick of my metals was the copper market, and in fact it still is. I still think copper looks probably one of the cleanest trends, but again copper last week was at this 2.2 level. We're looking at this level as a potential decision point, so in other words if it broke this level then we could be looking for a deeper pullback, possibly down to the 2150 area. We can see what's happened now. The market's found support here at 2.2. In fact it's tested it again multiple times before the market making on a new high. Now the thing that we need to consider here is that again the market condition looks a little bit different this week than it did last week. We've still got the uptrend here, but this high in the uptrend on the daily has now been met with divergence here on the RSI. So MACD is a little bit flat, but so I'm not too worried about the MACD, but the RSI is starting to show some divergence here. So that's potential, showing some potential weakness here. The other thing I've got to be aware of here is that on the monthly chart, as we can see, the monthly chart is in a strong downtrend, and the market's just pulled back into the zone here in between the 10 and the 20 period moving average. So it's the area where the market's found a turning point in the context of the trend many times before. So if we come down to the lower time frames, again coming down to the 4 hour chart, we can see our 2.2 level here. We can see how many times the market retested that, and in fact if we come and mark in a level just around where price action is, so around this sort of 2.270 area, we can see that the market's found resistance and support here a number of times. So I think for me on the intraday timeframes, we've got this other level up here where I think if the market's certainly finding support here, if this level gets broken, then I think we could get a move down here to 2.2. If we get a break above this and this divergence sort of plays out, then I think we're going to get some more bullish action. So that's around sort of the 2.3 level. We can see here from this high, we've certainly got some divergence sort of starting to come into the market. So the market's just going sideways and our indicators are selling off. So couple of levels there that I'm keeping a close eye on. Copper, again, more cautious on copper long whilst we've started to get that divergence coming in. Now, last week I also looked at the Australian dollar, the currency future here, and if we come and take a look at this now, last week the market was at this 74 level, and what I was looking for was that the 74 level being a key decision point area. Again, we can see that the market's come back, it's retested 74, it's found support, and now the market sort of moved on up here towards the sort of 76 area. So again, if we look at the weekly chart, the weekly chart's turned around into an uptrend. We've got a lovely chart structure here on the daily chart as well. Starting to get a little bit of divergence coming in here on the RSI as well. And again, this divergence doesn't necessarily mean that the trend is going to change. It just means that we might expect at least a pullback in the market. So coming to the intraday timeframes here on the 4-hour, again, what we can start to see, if I start to mark this in, we've got a bit of a structure level through here where the market's found support a number of times. So again, what I'm looking for here is I'm looking to see if this market holds this area, and if it does, then we could be looking for, again, another leg of the trend higher, as indeed we've got sort of quite a bit of strong divergence here on the 4-hour chart, and we started to see that coming in on the daily chart. If this level gets broken, then I think we could get maybe a retest down here to 74, and I'll be looking for intraday opportunities trading the market down to these levels. So those are the sort of markets that I'm keeping a close eye on this week. If we come and take a look at the TradeStation International website here, I'll tell you about the webinar event that we've got running later on this evening, London time. If we come to the webinars tab and then the live webinars, you'll see that we've got predictive technical analysis techniques, which is being run tonight. It's 7:30 London time, 2:30 New York time, and 6:30 tomorrow. 6:30 a.m. tomorrow in Sydney time. So in this webinar, what we're going to be looking at is the techniques that we use in order to be able to help us to predict future price action. So we're looking at techniques to help us to use them as leading indicators. It's a free webinar event. We'd love to have you on board. If you'd like to come along and join us, then all you need to do is to navigate to the website here, come and click on the Register Now tab, and you can fill in your details and register for free. So we look forward to seeing you on the webinar. Hope you find this useful, and we certainly look forward to speaking to you next time. Bye for now.